Hey everybody, this is Troy Alexander, Inspiration with Troy Alexander. One more time, we are excited tonight to be back. We have a phenomenal guest. Before I get to her, listen, you know what my motto is: dream, take that step, and walk with purpose into your destiny. I got a thumbs up from the producer. Walk in your destiny, everybody. Listen, this is what I'm telling you. Everything starts with a dream. You got to believe this and know that you are destined for something greater before you even get there. Listen, I wrote on Instagram on one post, I said, vision is seeing what you don't see until you do. Listen, I'm telling you, you got to have this in your mind, be determined, be focused, and I'm telling you right now, it's yours. Stay connected with us, y'all. We on Facebook, Troy Alexander. We on Instagram. I love taking photos at Pick by Design, We on the YouTube, Inspiration with Troy Alexander. And guess what, y'all? Follow our nonprofit, www.calledtoinspire.org, calledtoinspire.org. Tonight, we have a phenomenal young woman tonight. Listen, y'all, she is the former Miss New Jersey, USA, 2009. She is a psychotherapist, confidence educator, empowerment speaker. Her practice is Serenity Wellness and Therapy in Montclair, New Jersey, specializing in treating anxiety, stress disorder, self-esteem, and self-confidence. Listen, she is the founder of the Role Model Group, a nonprofit that teaches self-esteem, character, leadership, and fashion industry knowledge to teen girls. Listen, she's been featured, yes she has, on outlets such as Fox News, News 12, NJ, and NBC, and she's also an author. Listen, let's welcome Kaity Rodgriguez. Welcome, Kaity. How are you tonight?
I'm doing so well. Thank you so much, Troy, for that awesome introduction.
Oh my goodness, listen, you are deserving of that and so much more. So honored tonight to have you on our broadcast. Listen, you have done so much in your journey. I want to kind of start really quick because everything that you've done seems to empower other people, inspire other people. When did you know, like, was it a moment? Was there an experience in your life that said this is what you were called to do or assigned to do? Or did it just evolve into who you are?
Yeah, I think it definitely evolved. It's so funny you asked me that question. I was just talking yesterday about what my purpose was. And I think I came to understand what my purpose was in my later 20s. That was after my experience as Miss New Jersey, when I started to see all of the things that I had done that were, we could say great or impactful. It was all around inspiring or educating people to live their best lives, to, go for the goal, to do the things they want to do, and to just be well and be great, whether it be my therapy practice and helping people, learn the skills to work through anxiety and depression, or whether it be a Miss New Jersey, or, even graduating college, I had started this little group, helping my peers to just learn life skills and things like that. So I saw that pattern and I said, that must be part of my purpose, why I'm here.
Wow, I love that. I love that. And so you empower so many people, especially about the teen girls, and we want to talk about that as well. But at any point in your journey, did you feel not as empowered yourself? Because again, being in a role, right, to inspire others, did you have a moment in your journey where you experienced where you didn't feel empowered yourself?
Sure. I mean, I think, as a human, I don't try to act like I have it all together. And as humans, we all have different challenges that we go through. My 20s were a challenging period for me, even being Miss New Jersey. I was Miss New Jersey at 24. But even after that experience, still trying to find my way, I consider myself to be a late bloomer. So certain things that I wanted to happen or were waiting to happen, it's like, when is it going to happen? And I would stress myself out about it. And also being very hard on myself and expecting for things to look a certain way or expecting for myself to be perfect would it caused a lot. It caused me to have my own anxiety, you know? And
Wow.
so that's part of the reason that I started working with the population that I did in my practice. I say I work with anxious perfectionists and stressed out high achievers, because I understand what happens when you don't have compassion for yourself, when you're very ambitious, when you have a lot of dreams and you're very inspired and you're not getting there yet. If you beat yourself up, or if you're too critical with yourself, then that can just make things worse. And so there were definitely different periods throughout my life where I didn't feel so empowered, but I think that it's part of the process. You know, you talk about the process.
Yes.
And I was able to learn and grow and consequently help other people along the way struggling with the same things.
Amazing. Amazing. Listen, I gotta ask you, because you talked about, challenges, right? Still finding yourself, looking, and you talked about in your bio an experience where you were scrutinized on a
Mhm.
national platform, and that inspired you to create a platform for leadership and self-esteem in teen girls. Can you share with us what that experience was?
Well, there were a number of experiences as Miss New Jersey. As you could imagine, I didn't expect it, which I should have. But as you could imagine, when you're on a national platform and really international, there were people who followed me overseas. You're gonna experience criticism, right? There's gonna be people who don't think you deserve to be there. If you look at the crowning is still on YouTube now, and you look at some of the comments, most of them were good comments. But some of the comments, like, oh, she looks like an animal, she looks like a horse, and this and that. There were, I don't know if are pageant message boards still around now? I'm
I
not
believe,
sure.
well, sometimes they take them away because people do, give not so nice comments.
Right,
But yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah.
So pageant, the message boards were a big thing then. And, I made the mistake of going in on one, and people will call you racial slurs. They
Wow.
compared me to the teen winner the previous year, Alyssa Campanella, who actually few years down the line went on and won Miss USA. But they would compare me to her. So she already had a following of fans, and there were people that weren't happy that I was she won first runner up to me. And so there were people that were unhappy about that. And let's see what else. There were also well-meaning family members and friends who would tell me. I remember I was at an appearance that year, and there was a role model of mine. I won't mention her name, but she was a role model of mine. She was at the appearance, and she came and pulled me to the side and said, you're a beauty queen now, so you really need to get your look together. Your hair is not where it needs to be. Like, and this was at the event. Like, there was nothing I could do at that time. I'm here. I can't run home and change how I look. But she felt that she had the pull, I guess you could say, to just tell me I needed to look better. And it made me tear up, because I'm like, I'm trying.
Oh my goodness.
And so there's a number of things. I also had the opportunity, I guess you could say, at the time, Donald Trump owned the Miss USA pageant. He was a partial owner. And that year, he decided to do something that he'd never really done before. So they were bringing in cameras into the preparation process, all of our practices and rehearsals. And so he came in, and he decided that year that he would separate the girls by who was attractive and who wasn't attractive. And this was the night before the pageant. When you're out there, you're there for like 2 weeks preparing for the pageant. And so, you're there for 2 weeks. And so the night before, when you're trying to get your head in the game and really be on point, he decided to go and pull a stunt like that. And so, it just, there, like I said, there were a number of things that can kind of mess with your head if you're not,
Yes,
if you're not game ready.
absolutely. And how, now let me ask you this, because you said you weren't quite ready. Did you was becoming Miss? I mean, to have the title, right, of Miss New Jersey USA, was that a goal of yours or an aspiration of yours?
Well, it was definitely something that I watched the pageant every year from the time I was little with my mom. We would watch the Miss USA pageant. And so I think one year when I hit like the age of eligibility, I might have been like 22 or so, and they would give the announcement, you know, like if you want to try it, whatever. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and try it. And so I don't know if you know, some people don't know. I also went out for Miss New Jersey USA 2008, and that year I didn't win. Didn't even make the top 15. But that year I also said, if it takes me all 7 years that I have left, I'm going to win Miss New Jersey USA. So initially it was just kind of a far out dream, but then after a while I got serious and I said, this is something I really want to do.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, listen, we're so proud of you for your persistence, even after all. And I gotta ask you, because so many people, right? They seek goals and they seek aspiration in life, and they see the moment, but don't see what comes after. So I want to just hear from you, like, because I see people on the news, on television, in the movies, they like the spotlight, but they don't like the fame. So I wanted to ask you, like, after your crowning, was there experiences like that you really didn't like? Well, again, separate from the comments and the so forth, but just the experience of having the reign. How did you manage? Was it too much for you? Did it meet your expectation? Did it go above? Did it go below? What would you say in terms of the process afterwards?
So it was definitely a challenge, but it's a challenge that I wouldn't have traded for anything. I think I was ready for the platform in the sense that you weren't going to go and find some mess and pull up some internet drama or catch me out there doing something that wasn't,
right.
you know, I guess being a role model. Like I'm gonna say I won, but I went for it because I wanted to be able to be a role model and to help girls and inspire girls and women and things like that. So I was ready in that sense. But what I wasn't ready for was that scrutiny, you know, and that criticism, and that, you know, you got to look a certain way, you got to do this and you got to do that. That was the part that I wasn't quite ready for, but I got it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this together after a while. So once I understood what I was in, and I understood there's also a difference between the Miss USA system and the Miss America system. And once I understood what I was dealing with, it really helped me to develop into a young woman. Like it helped me to, you know, just pull a lot of those woman skills together.
Wow. Well, I gotta ask you, because how did you learn how to process the fact that somebody defined you as not beautiful, or they didn't, or they talk about you and compared you to such? What did you do to help you through that process? People call it coping skills or coping mechanism, or what, but what did you learn to do for you? What helped you to be able to maintain your balance, your sense of vision, your sense of purpose? What allowed you? Because some people would have quit, not gone back again, say, I don't want to go through that. But how did you learn that that was part of the process and to go through it?
Yeah. You know, I think I didn't actually, as a therapist, I'm a big advocate of therapy, but I didn't actually start therapy until about 3 or 4 years after my reign as Miss New Jersey. So up until then, even though, you know, my background's in social work and whatnot, you don't really learn the skills until you've like experienced them yourself, or you've been in the field for a while. And so up until then, I think what helped me was more, it really was a challenge. That's why I said it was one of those darker periods for me. But what helped me get through it was knowing my why. You know, this is why I'm doing this. You know, I'm doing this for a bigger purpose. When you asked like, what was the process like, what the experience after the crowning, I always felt that it was such an honor to have people who wanted to have me at their events, their appearances and things like that. Like sometimes I would just sit back in amazement, like these people just want me to be here. Like, you know, like who am I?
Right.
So those things really helped pull me through, but it took some years, to be honest, to understand that beauty is something that's subjective. It's also, nobody can assign you your worth and value. You're born with your worth and value. Me as a Christian, I believe it comes from God. He assigned that to me, and there's nothing I can do or not do to take it away. There's no way that I can look, this or that. And if you try to become what other people say, is right or is valuable or is beautiful, you'll twist yourself into pretzels because everybody has a different measuring stick, and being Black in America, sometimes the measuring stick, especially for beauty, isn't in their favor. So it took some time to learn those things.
Wow, that's amazing and so powerful that you were able to reach that plateau in your life, because so many people don't, right? They stop at what other people define them as opposed to redefining who they are and knowing who they are. So that is what would you say are say 1 to 3 words that would define you now? So if you walk away from what would you want somebody to walk away from knowing about you? What would you describe yourself now in terms of where you've come from and where you are?
Like 3 adjectives?
Yes.
The first one that comes into mind is compassionate. So I'm going to be compassionate with myself and also with other people. We're all human. At the end of the day, we all have challenges, and there's nothing that any of us can experience that hasn't been experienced before. And just try not to judge myself too harshly or other people. As they say, but by the grace of God, there go I,
Yes.
So that's one thing. I'm not adventurous. I think that was actually a word I used in my bio as for the Miss New Jersey competition. They asked you for 3 words. At the time, it was passionate, determined, and adventurous. Adventurous still stays. I'm still passionate too, but I wouldn't describe that as one of my top 3. So compassionate, adventurous. I love a challenge. I love doing things that are different, that are out of the box. I don't think I'll ever stop that. And then my last word would be, maybe I'd have to think about that. Curious is coming to mind, but I don't know if that's the best word.
Right,
word.
that's okay. Well, listen, adventurous. Let me ask you now: Are you one of the people that swim with sharks and that skydive and all that kind of stuff?
So of course you named the 2 things that I would not do. I'll do like the zip lining. I swam with dolphins before.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I love like hiking and water rafting and all those kinds of things, and obviously traveling and being on stages, that's adventurous. But jumping out of planes, I don't like planes, so that I'm not quite that adventurous. And like literally life risking, like maybe I might do in the cage with the shark, but I don't know.
It's okay. Listen, I'm not encouraging you. Trust me, I'm not encouraging you. Not
I'm not. There's levels to adventure, and I'm not at the top level.
No, I'm with you. Listen, I wanted to ask you, as a psychotherapist, do you ever feel that you have to always have an answer for someone?
You mean as in when they're asking me a question?
Yes, like whatever issues that they may be dealing with or struggling with or challenges. Do you feel that you always have to have an answer to their problem?
Well, no, because part of the role of a therapist, which a lot of people kind of get confused, people think that your therapist is like, can tell you what to do and give you advice. But what truly a good therapist is going to help you find the answers inside yourself. So it's not my role to always give an answer. A lot of times when my clients will ask me what I think about something, I put it back on them, and it's probably annoying. What do you think?
Right.
Because it's not my job to give you my approval, it's not my job to tell you what I think you should do. Like I said, it's to help you get to your own answers and really cultivate and develop your own intuition. A lot of times people have answers, they just don't know how to access their own answers. So that's part of my role. And I don't think I always have to have the answer. And I'm not going to. I don't presume to know everything.
Right. Wow, that's powerful. And so I want to ask you, because do you ever feel, and again, I don't want you to go if you don't feel you want to go to that extent, but do you ever feel the need to share you with other people? Like folks come to you and share their thoughts. Like, do you have a group or people that you are connected with that you share with as well?
You mean like for my own like edification and
Yes.
support and whatnot? Oh yeah, for sure. I've gone through some coaching programs myself, and one of the points in the program is that you have to have a support system for whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether it be business or pageantry or marriage, relationships. You need to have people who you can go to, who understand, who can encourage you when things get tough, who can advise you. And those roles may look different depending on what it is, but yeah, a therapist is one potential role on a support team. But your pastor, your coach, your challenger, your cheerleader, person who's cheering you on and celebrating you, like you have to have that circle. So I certainly have one. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I love that. And I want to ask you, because you said understanding the why. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you strengthened in those moments that it becomes difficult and challenging? Because all of us have them. Mm-hmm. All of us have those moments, right, where we face and because something's happened that we don't expect, right? We're working, we're processing. So what helps you to get through what are you looking at? And I love what you said earlier about the why. Is there anything else that you envision that helps you kind of get through those moments?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it depends on what the thing is, whatever the why is for whatever the goal is. You have to look at the bigger picture and say, is this going to be worth, pushing through in the challenge? And also, I'll be honest, like my support system helps me get through as well. My support system has to remind me oftentimes that it's not about the destination. Like I want to go to, okay, this is where I want to be, and because that's what's making it worth it. Here's my why. But they have to remind me of the process, and that it's not going to happen overnight, but it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Because for me, sometimes when it doesn't happen overnight, I feel like it's not going to happen. And so I have to be reminded of that. So they will help put me back on track with that. But yeah, depending on what the thing is, that's going to say what the why is, and what motivates.
Well, listen, everybody, you see why she's an amazing psychotherapist. Listen, she's giving us all of her insight right here on this broadcast. I got to ask you, looking back now, again, having been such an amazing journey in pageantry, how long were you doing pageantry before you were crowned Miss New Jersey USA?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like I said, I did the Miss New Jersey pageant 1 year before I won. Yeah. So I did it twice. And I also did a few college scholarship pageants, maybe about two or three, maybe about 3 college scholarship pageants. I didn't win any of those. And I also, this was a long time ago, my mom put me in a pageant when I was like 4 years old. And she said that was a one and done thing because I was trying to tell her how it should be done. So she was like, no, we're not doing this anymore. So, I've been in a few pageants here and there. Nothing, I wouldn't have considered myself like a pageant girl, though that was, those that are doing them all the time, that wasn't quite me.
Now, Kaity, wait. Now, are you really telling me and all of us that you never won a pageant prior to winning Miss New Jersey USA?
Correct. Yeah.
Listen, that is an amazing testimony right there for a lot of people in life. And so I want to ask you, looking back now, what would you say? Someone comes up to you and says, I want to go into pageantry. What what should I look for? What would you say that would help them to take that next step, and what they should prepare for?
So, we talked about the support system, right? So
Yes.
the support, one of the main supports was I got a coach, and my coach was phenomenal. And I went to him twice, him and his team twice before competing. And then I also went to him for Miss USA. And he lived in South Carolina, but I was in New Jersey. So I flew twice, and that just kind of shows how dedicated I was. His name is Cyrus Frakes. He's the owner of Gowns and Crowns in South Carolina. He's coached many pageant winners. So having someone who really knew what it takes to win, international titles and things like that. In his studio, it's just beautiful. Like, it's just the most glamorous place. He has this big closet of like all different pageant gowns, and you try them on to see what kind of silhouette works for you, and then the walk, and then the confidence also that comes. And he also had a team. Some of the girls were they helped me with makeup, so it was really like a great support. But in addition to that, the other side, I say it was Cyrus, and it was also having God on my side. I can't forget that. I think it was just something that was supposed to happen. God did his part, but then I also had to do my part. So there was a lot of preparation that went into that second year, the difference between the first and the second year. So like I said, I got the coach. But in addition to that, I was very serious about my workout routine. I set up mock interviews. So what I would do is I would have, it's one thing to practice questions or have someone in your family ask you questions and hold interviews, but it's another thing to learn how to interview with people you've never seen before. So I got about 5 family members and friends and I asked them to put together some mock interview panels. So some of them would like have friends come over to their house, or I came to their job during lunch and they set up like a quick mock interview and they would ask me questions. So I learned how to deal with the nerves of talking to people who I don't know on a panel. That was one of my things. I would practice the walk every night. I don't know how we spent so much time practicing a walk, but I practiced my walk and turn every night. The war just, so there was really, I put time into it. And after I won, one of the things I did was I traveled around delivering the 3 P's to success speech. And one of those P's was preparation. And so you can be all positive and inspired and everything, but if you don't prepare yourself and actually do the work, then you're not very likely to experience success,
I love that, Kaity. I love the word preparation, right? Being ready. Mm-hmm. So when that door opens, right, you're ready to walk through it and sustain yourself, right? And so I want to ask you.
Wait, can I tell you something real quick? Because you talked about opening the door. So the funny thing was, when that second year, they had the pageant was at the I think the Hilton in Parsippany, and when I came through the doors, the night, I think starting the pageant, interviews and whatnot, I came through the doors, had my bags and everything, and something said to me, Miss New Jersey has entered the building. And it just came to me. I didn't say it out loud, but something, and it was like, I knew that it was going to happen. I didn't have to question. It wasn't a cockiness thing or anything. It was just something came to me. And yeah, I was ready.
Listen, Kaity, I'm telling you, I felt that same experience when I walked into Hamilton Radio, being interviewed by a gentleman, an amazing gentleman who had a show, and some reason, never done radio, never been, but something in me said, I'm going to walk out of that interview having my own show. Wow. And Kaity, a week and a half later, I started my own show. So listen, I feel you. I'm with you, knowing
it's just that knowing, right?
Yes, yes. It's so powerful, so powerful. And I'm so proud that you kept walking through that door, right? And didn't allow that voice to put fear in you or doubt or concern or anything, but you said, you know what? I'm gonna keep walking. So I love that about you, which is amazing. Wow. And listen, I'm not surprised. And guess what, Kaity? There's some more doors that's about to open in
I'll
your
receive
journey.
it.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you, and so I want to ask you, because so many people focus on getting to the top, right, of the mountain, but don't understand the process of being able to sustain themselves on the mountain. It's one thing to become a champion, but to repeat it or to stay there. Did you find that your process for preparation, did it change at all for you going for the crown, for when you have the crown? Just in
Um,
terms of speaking, of just walking in that purpose. Did you
mhm.
find that like, did you stop practicing your walk after you got crowned? Did you stop doing, or did you kind of maintain a certain routine afterwards as well?
Well, after winning Miss New Jersey, then the next level was preparing for Miss USA. And I definitely did a lot of preparation for that as well. Didn't place in that one, but it obviously was getting a learning experience. After Miss USA, I wasn't practicing as much. Definitely wasn't practicing the walk or anything like that.
Right, right.
But I think the things that stick are discipline, that, and that's something that I still work on to this day. The discipline of when you're trying to do something, that's something that you need to have, not just when you're working towards something, but when you actually attain the thing. And what else? And that just that idea of preparation for whatever it is, it just changes. The process changes depending on what the goal is. But preparing yourself and being disciplined in your life is, going to get you there, whether it be, a pageant or just, health or whatever it might be.
Awesome, awesome. And I want to ask you, do you feel that you were able to hold on to who you were in terms of being true to you throughout your pageant experience? Because I see so many people try to change who they are to hopefully what the judges want.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to ask you, do you feel that you were, true to yourself all the way through, or did you feel like you had to kind of adjust or kind of, give them what you thought they wanted?
Yeah, no, I definitely, I feel like I was pretty true to myself. I think I have always said that I don't want Miss New Jersey to define me, because I don't feel that it's the greatest thing that I've done, to be honest. I think the experience with the role model group and that nonprofit and being able to work with those girls one-on-one was like just great for me. Miss New Jersey, I don't want to discount it, but I didn't want to allow it to define or change who I was. And so I was pretty authentic. And I think it helped to bring out the best in me. It helped to, as I was preparing for my interview and my coach was coaching me, we would talk about just me and what's unique about me. And I learned how to honor that and to be able to share that in a way that connects with people. So I think it brought out the best in me. I wasn't really trying to change anything.
Well, I think that message right there, Kaity, is so powerful for so many people, because being authentic, right? Being unapologetically, right? You like being you, and being okay with who you are, and not having to define yourself based upon what you think other people think or going to. So I love that. So I gotta ask you, sometimes, I think that therapists or counselors, sometimes I think that they may be one step removed from sometimes the experiences of the clients.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to ask you, like, even during the pandemic, you were in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
How were you able to counsel people in the pandemic with you also being in the pandemic, and what impact did it have on you at all, if any, that you're going through it at this time?
Well, I when the pandemic hit, I really became grateful for my experience as a therapist and my tools as a therapist, because the same tools that I teach, I had to implement myself. And whether it be take it day by day, mindfulness and not jumping too far ahead, because the idea of getting sick, am I going to catch the virus? You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know whether you're going to get sick, but can you actually breathe right now? Are you actually okay right now in this moment and in the next moment and the next moment? Just take it one step at a time. So during that time, I pulled from my own toolkit. And like I said, I was just so thankful, because if I didn't have that toolkit, I don't know how I would have been. It might have been bad. And I can understand why people really struggled, because it was scary. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I applaud you. I applaud you, because it's just not what you've done, what you've achieved, but just you. You're enough, right? You're just, and I thank you for sharing so much of your journey. I got to ask you, listen, you've achieved so much. You have your own practice. Listen, y'all, I said it earlier in the broadcast, and it is Serenity Wellness and Therapy in Montclair, New Jersey. Your education from graduate, just an amazing journey that you've had. Listen, do you have any new goals that you've set for yourself that you can share? Now, don't, but is there anything new that's working on now?
So I'll tell you the new adventure, and I think it's going to evolve as I go through it. So at the end of this month, I'll be moving and giving up my place, and I'm going to be setting out for a year of travel, where I'm going to bounce around from country to country. I'll be working with my clients virtually, and bouncing around from country to country and seeing, kind of where I'm led, and where I end up. I'm not quite sure. I think my time in New Jersey might be winding down, and so I want to see where I'm led, and see, I may end up in LA, and with LA, all the excitement that comes there. I've been wanting to get back into the entertainment industry since I was Miss New Jersey. So that just it's going to be a journey, and I don't quite know what the destination is going to be, but I know that I'm going to evolve and grow through that. So that's the next adventure.
Kaity, listen, all I can say is, wow, because so many people would be so afraid. Not that you're not, not that
I'm
you're
a little
not
nervous. Definitely a little nervous, not gonna lie.
But I love the fact that you're willing to take that step, right? You're willing to try. And so, do you know where your first destination might be?
Yes, so my first destination is Panama City, Panama. So I'm going to stay there for a few months, learning, just trying to finish my learning of Spanish. I kind of have a conversational level. So my plan is to leave fluent. And then after that, I'm going to spend a month in each place. So possibly Ghana. Like I said, I'll probably stop in LA, Italy, France, maybe Bali. We'll see where else I end up.
Well, you're going to have to come back on this show and tell us about your experiences. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, that is like, life altering, to actually go and experience places that you've never been before. But I love the fact that you have a vision. I'm going to learn Spanish. I'm going to come out of there knowing it. So I love that.
I guess that is another goal.
Yes. Yes. Have you always been so goal oriented?
I think I have. I've always been competitive. I'm a Leo, Leo the lion. We're competitive and goal oriented and adventurous and things like that. And I'm also an oldest child. So being the oldest, that's one of those features too, as well. So yeah.
Wow. Well, listen, I have to applaud you, and that's exciting to see what is coming next for you. All I know is it's amazing. I'm going to look up on my television and see you on one of them channels. Be like, hey, listen, here goes Connie Rodgriguez, y'all. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if you have your own show, your own broadcast, your own entertainment company. Whatever you set your mind out to is yours. I mean, there is no limit to what, and it's amazing because you seem to be very fulfilled, but then also still seeking more. Is that okay?
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like I like my life now. I like where I'm at. But things can always be bigger and better, and you never know what God has in store for you. And I can only imagine, I've been thinking about this traveling and this specifically TV hosting. That's what I want to get into if I go to LA. For quite some time now. And so I can only imagine how much more fulfilling it would be to experience that.
Absolutely. And so I'm glad I got my photo with you at the next level because it's and there's no limit. Honestly, there's no limit to where God can take you or where you will go, what door will open for you. And I'm so excited for you, Kaity. So excited for you.
Yes.
I got to ask, I want to learn a little bit more about your role model group, about this nonprofit that teaches, again, self-esteem, character, and leadership and fashion industry knowledge to teen girls. So share more. Why did you feel that was necessary?
Yeah. So that was, after my experience as Miss New Jersey, I worked with, going to the schools and talked to a number of different, I think it was like 3,000 kids that year, maybe. And I saw that self-esteem was a challenge for a lot of the girls, and that how they just looked up to me being Miss New Jersey. I saw the influence that I had. But I also knew that what the influence of fashion and entertainment, I know what kind of influence it has on younger people. And so I said, well, let me combine the two. I have my own connections and just my own experience and whatnot. So we would do fashion shows with them and photo shoots, and we would also bring in like industry people to host classes like acting or public speaking. They all had to do community service projects. We did some character development. What else did we do with them? We did all of those things to help them. And the transformations that we would see were really amazing. We would see some girls come in, some girls already had it, but some girls would come in really quiet and shy. But if you make them go and walk down a runway with hundreds of people in the room, it's going to bring it out. And same way, you put kids in dance or sports to help them with their confidence, the same thing can go for fashion. So
absolutely. Well, listen, all I know is you're changing lives and you are empowering other people, especially young girls, but everyone you meet, you empower. And that's a powerful gift to have. It's a powerful gift to have. And so listen, y'all, not only that, but she's an author. Oh my goodness. She has a book about uncovering personal strength and stopping self-doubt. Mine is coming on Wednesday. So I'm a little late from the interview, but I ordered my book on Amazon.
You.
Yes, absolutely. And I can't wait to read it. So when did you decide to write this book?
So the book is, it's in the format of a journal. And I decided to do this in 2016, I want to say. Journaling is such a powerful medium. It's something that I, as a therapist, always, recommend that my clients do, just to build awareness. When you have to sit and think about something and then put it on paper, it really makes it real and really makes it concrete. So in 2016, that was another transitional year for me. And that was right before I started my practice. And so I had left a job, didn't have a job, and was deciding like what I want to do next. And so in between starting my practice, I had some time and I decided I'm going to write this journal. And that journal was actually very easy to write. So it's the Confidence Project Journal, 52 journal prompts to uncover personal strength and overcome self-doubt. And so each journal prompt is centered around helping people to discover what their strengths are, what they're good at, how they've been impactful already in ways maybe they don't know. Because we need to be aware. A lot of women feel like they don't have anything to be confident about or any reason to be confident or love themselves, but it's there. They just may not be aware of it.
Absolutely. Wow. Listen, everybody. So please purchase this amazing book. I can't wait to read mine and get my copy. Hopefully on Wednesday, it should be coming to the house, but I'm super excited about you, Kaity, and what's coming next for you. What does Kaity do in her downtime? What does Kaity do to relax? Like what's your favorite junk food? Is there a movie or a TV show that you watch? Like, do you do all, what does Kaity do in her downtime?
So I love being outdoors in nature. I just did a hike. The hike might have taken us 4 or 5 hours yesterday. I like hiking, nature activities. I love This Is Us. Have you heard of This Is Us on
I have.
NBC? I think it is. Oh, it's the best show. It's so
Yeah.
heartwarming and wholesome. So I love that.
Bring some tissues.
Yes, yes, yes. You may not. It's like, is it possible to watch that show without crying? I don't
Nope.
know.
Nope.
And even the men say it too. So yeah,
It's
it's
true.
like, wow. So that's one of my favorite shows. Bubble baths. I'm all about de-stressing and self-care. Yeah, and just anything outdoors when it's warm, not when it's cold. I don't
Okay.
like to do the cold. But yeah.
Awesome. 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 Well, listen, I want to thank you so much again for just sharing who you are. I want to give you the floor. I want you to just inspire. I want you to uplift. And if there's anything that we haven't asked you that you feel that you want to share and impart, please just the floor is yours. Again, this platform every week we come on just to uplift and people to hold on to their dreams and don't give up on themselves, know their purpose, know that they have a calling and assignment, right? So we just want to uplift them to encourage to take that next step. So this is what this platform. So I want to give you the floor, Kaity, and just share, inspire people to hold on to their dreams.
Hmm. Well, if I had something to say, I would say, I know that God definitely places seeds of greatness in all of us. And for some, it's a little bit more covered because of your challenging experiences. And I would say to those people, don't allow those challenging experiences to define you. Regardless of what you were told, whether it be by family members, friends, this abuse and mistreatment that you might have suffered, failures that you might have had, none of those things define you. Your creator, God, he defines you and places the value on it, and you can't earn it. So you also can't, I don't know, unearn it. It's inherent. It's a birthright. And so your value, your worthiness, your value and your worthiness, that's where it comes from, and there's nothing you can do to mess it up. There's nothing that your family or your lineage can do to mess it up. And so just know that and work relentlessly to get to the root of that, and to loving yourself and knowing what your value is. And when you love and value yourself, you're going to love and value your future, the dreams and aspirations that you have, because you know that you're worth it, and you know that there's a plan and a vision for you. So start there, work towards that, and then the goals, the dreams, the visions, the aspirations, they're going to come as you realize who you are and whose you are.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Kaity. Thank you, Kaity Rodgriguez. Thank you so much. I want to ask, do you want to give any acknowledgments? Is there anyone that you want to acknowledge along your journey? I know sometimes that can be a little tough because you don't want to leave anybody out. But is there anyone that you feel that you want to acknowledge at this time?
No, I always have to acknowledge my parents. Like I wouldn't have done half of the things that I've done without their support. My mother, even now, like she helps run my practice. That's one of her jobs. She helps run the practice. I call her, she's my ride or die. And my dad is always there as well. And so I always have to acknowledge them and to thank them for their love and their support. And I also have a friend, I don't even know if he'll see this, but Jason Martin. So he's been my photographer, my media go-to for years, and has always encouraged me. And it was one of those supports that, when I would feel like giving up, would always encourage me. So I always have to thank him, J Martin Productions.
Well, listen, we want to applaud your mom and dad and Jay Martin. We want to applaud him and all that he's doing and has done a part of your journey thus far. Where can people find you? What are your social media platforms? How can people connect with you?
So social media, I'm Kaity B. Rodriguez on Instagram and TikTok. I haven't been active, but I had quite a few followers on TikTok. And my website, you can go to theconfidenceprojectjournal.com, and you'll see more about the practice. You'll also see where you can find the journal, whether you want to do the paperback on Amazon or you want to get the hardback special edition that comes with a little bookmark and a pen and all the goodies. So, and a self-love playlist. So you can go to theconfidenceprojectjournal.com. And yeah, I'd say that would be it.
Awesome. Well, Kaity, listen, we're going to have to get some time so you can sign my book. I don't know how we're going to make it or how we're going to, but somehow before you go on your trip.
August 1st.
Very good. So we'll make it happen. But thank you so much. Is there any more that you want to share with us before we let you go?
No, I just want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure to be able to chat with you and share my journey.
No, I thank you so much. Everybody, please welcome. And again, thank you so much to Kaity Rodgriguez. We appreciate you so much. Please connect with her and stay connected with us, y'all. Everybody, you know what my motto is. Dream, take that step, and walk with purpose into your destiny. Listen, y'all, stay connected. Facebook, Troy Alexander. Instagram at Pick by Design. Our nonprofit call to inspire.org. YouTube, Inspiration with Troy Alexander. Thank you so much, Kaity. We appreciate you. Listen, everybody, hold on to your dream. Don't give up on you. I said it earlier. You will see it. You got to see it, and you got to believe it and know that it's yours. As Kaity said earlier, she walked through the door and something said, Miss New Jersey, USA. We know you hear the voice. Go on and walk through the door. Why? Because it's yours. Thank y'all so much. Have a great night. And we won't see you next week, but we'll see you the following week. Have a great night, everybody, and go get your dream. Thank you, Kaity. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.